Hi and welcome. As you know, I'll no longer teach math as a live lesson online. So I planned that I'll make lessons videos such following. My lesson videos time will be about 25 minutes, and in the last minutes in this lesson, for example, or the lesson, you will write in their notebooks what I taught in this lesson. After that, you should send me by taking photos what you wrote on your notebook. For this, I'll send you the lesson notes that I taught with the lesson videos. I'll upload the lesson videos in Google Classroom and I'll provide them to accessible on a lesson. As you know, if you remember, we state in the cumulative frequency graph subject, and the first time we will review this topic, and then we will talk about another subject. And representation of continuous data, for example, is particularly a cumulative frequency graph. If you remember, a cumulative frequency graph can be used to represent continuous data. A cumulative frequency is the total frequency of the values less than given value. So in a cumulative frequency, we use the total frequency. If we are given group that data, we can construct the cumulative frequency diagram by plotting cumulative frequencies against upper glass boundaries for all intervals. It's very important for us because when we draw the graph, we should use upper glass boundaries each column. We can join the points consecutively with straight line segments or to give a cumulative frequency polygon, or with a smooth curve to give a cumulative frequency curve. Also, we use generally a polygon, we draw generally polygon, but we can use or draw curve, frequency curve. But it changes a person from to a person frequency curve. So if all people make the same graph or draw the same graph, we should draw like a polygon or line or using line. For example, we have an example, the reaction times t seconds of 50 participants were measured in an experiment and presented below. So we have a frequency table, then want us draw the they want us draw the cumulative frequency graph, and I will copy paste this table on the next paper, and I will use the this table. Okay, now and we will use this table, which given in the question. So we will fill up this table also about cumulative frequency, and as between 0 and 10 time we have 5 frequency. So this equals to 5, we should write 5. But the second one between 0 and 20, so it means between 0 and 10 plus between 10 plus 20, and we should add up the 5 and 10. So 5 and 10, it means 15. And if we want to fill up these box, so between 0 and 20, we should add up the first third column. So it means between 0 and 10 frequency plus between 10 and 20 frequency 10 plus, and between 20 and 30 frequency it's also 10, so equals to 25. And if we want to find the between 0 and 40 cumulative frequency, we should find 5 plus 10 plus 10 plus 16. So it means 41. And this between 0 and 40 cumulative frequency means the first four frequency we should add up the all values. And the other one, we want to find between 0 and 50 cumulative frequency. So we should 41, very shortly it becomes plus 5. So it means 46. And the last one, if we want to 0 and 60 cumulative frequency, we should find or compute that 46 plus 4, because between 50 and 60 values or frequency is 4, and these values 46. If we add up the 46 and 40, we should find all cumulative frequency, and it means 50. Okay, now the other one, we should draw the cumulative frequency, and I want to this table copy paste the other on the other paper. Okay, now the paper is very sans paper, and it's very it will be very easy for draw the graph. And our graph, the x axis and the y axis, and the x-axis means times, and the y-axis means cumulative frequency, or CF, cumulative frequency, the same CF. And our value 0 and 10 and 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and 60, and the cumulative frequency values are 5 point is here, and 15 point is here, and 25 here, and 41 10, 20, 30, 40, 41 like here, and 26 is here, and the last one also 50 and 50. And we should, if we want to draw the our column, the first column is between 0 and 10. The second column between 10 and 20. The second column between 20 and 30. The third column between 30 and 40. The other column between and 40 and 50, excuse me, and the last column between 50 and 60. And if you want to draw the cumulative frequency graph, we should draw the upper boundary. So the first boundary, the upper boundary of the first boundary is here. The second upper boundary, third upper boundary, and the fifth, sixth, and seventh. And if you it's your upper boundary 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. And the last situation, and we will draw our graph, and I draw polygon, and both polygon and curve. So if you want to draw like a polygon, you should draw the upper boundary point and this, and the blue polygons is the cumulative frequency graph. But if you want to draw graph as a curve, you should like curve, and maybe this one, like maybe this. So it changes each person for according to each person curve. So we prefer we also prefer draw polygon, and a polygon it doesn't change according to any person. Okay, now we will pass the other example, and we talk about the other one. Also, we have a table and a frequency table, and we will the first time we will fill up this table according to frequency cumulative, frequency cumulative of frequency, or CF maybe. And the second one, we will draw the graph, and it's also the first column 6, and the second 6 plus 9 becomes 15, and the second 15 plus 24 equals to 39. 39 plus 16 equals to 55, and 55 plus 9 equals to 64, and 64 plus 6 equals to 70. And the other one, we will draw our graph, but I want to use the other paper. and copy paste. Okay, now, and our values is like these, and I want to draw the y-axis and x-axis and x-axis. Our values, the x-axis labeled is time, and the y-axis is CV, cumulative frequency, and we have 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. The other one 6 and 15 and 15. I want to very short value for these 60, for example, like this point, and this is 10 and 15, this point, and 10, 20, 30, and 39, like this, and 40, 50, 55, like this, and maybe the if the long y-axis, it should be better, and 64 here, and 70, like this. And I want to draw the column. The first column between 0 and 10 and 6. The second column between 10 and 20 and value 15. The third column and 39. The other column 55, and the other column is 64, and the last column is 70. And we should draw the upper boundary. If you remember, if you want to draw a cumulative frequency, you should draw the upper boundary by drawing the polygon, and our cumulative frequency graph is like this. Okay, now we learned about what does it mean cumulative frequency, and how do we draw the graph of cumulative frequency. And if we return the other example, the following table shows the length of 80 leaves from a particular tree given to the nearest centimeter. Draw a cumulative frequency curve and a cumulative frequency polygon. Use each of these to estimate the number of leaves that are less than 3.7 centimeter long, the lower boundary of the length of the longest 22 leaves. Okay, now if you look at this table carefully, you can see a different part. For example, between 1 to 2 interval has 80 leaves, and the second one 3 to 4 centimeters has interval centimeters has 20 leaves. But our data is discrete data. if you look at these values carefully, these values have have gaps. So cumulative frequency is should be a continuous data, and the first time we will transform discrete data to continuous data. And if you want to transform discrete data to continuous data, we should make like this. For example, the upper boundary and lower boundary gap is 1, and 1 divided by 2, 0.5, and we have 0.5 further and before, so it becomes continuous data. Like 1, the first interval is x value, and less than 2.5 the second value, greater and equals than 2.5, and this the upper value 4.5, and the x greater and equals than 4.5, less than 7.5, and x greater and equals than 7.5, less than 9.5, and x greater and equals than 9.5, and less than 11.5. Okay, now our value is 0.5. Then firstly we should fill up the table according to these intervals. Our intervals like this. Okay, now my mouse is frozen, but I am waiting. Yeah, okay. Now our intervals are the gaps is like this, and the first one 0.5 greater than or equals, and 2.5, and 4.5, 4.5 not equal, and 2.5, and 4.5, and 6.5, and the last one is for 7.5, yeah, 7.5 and 9.5, 7.5 and 9.5. Okay, 9.5, 9.5, and the other one 7.5 and 9.5 and 11.5 x value. And if we want to cumulative frequency, we will run up by at so the first value 8, the second value 8 plus 20, the third value 8 plus 20 plus 38, so it means 28, and 66, and 66 plus 10, 66 plus 10, 66 plus 10, so 76, and the other one 76 plus 4 and 80. Okay, now we will draw the cumulative frequency graph. The x value labeled lengths are lengths. The second, the y value labeled cumulative frequency and cumulative frequency. And 0.5 between 0.5 bit and 2.5 and 4.5 and 7.5 and 9.5 and 11.5, and the y on the y axis, 8 on the y axis, 20, 28, 66 and 76 and 80, and our column, the one and the second, the third, fourth, and the last one. And we should draw the upper value, and like this, our cumulative frequency graph by drawing a polygon. If we want to draw curve, like this, for example, like this.